you ever moved? Maybe a different city, a different state, a different town, a different house, maybe even a different room, and not felt at home? Maybe worse yet, have you ever gone back home and not felt at home? Have you ever been in a home, been around a group of people and just not felt at home? Maybe it was what they were talking about, the way they were talking, the way they were dressed, the way they were acting, or maybe the language they were speaking that just made you not feel totally comfortable, not at home. Have you ever searched, felt like you were searching for your home? If you don't know me, I'm Maureen Turnbull Arbelow, and I'm the founder of Prepare Coaching. I connect people from across the world to speak from their hearts, to speak their messages, and to cross the many borders of language and of culture that can, but do not have to separate us. And I've searched for a home for many years. I've searched for a home around the world and inside of myself. My mom said, I remember my mom saying when I was young, that wherever you are, there you are. Maybe it sounds almost trite, but I think it's so true that we can travel around the world and never be at home. And we can also stay in the same home, stay in the same house our entire lives and never be at home. I think we can always be searching for home and never feel home. So what is that home? I am from the US, but I've lived in Brazil for over 10 years, and I've lived in a few different states in the US and a few different states in Brazil. And actually very recently I've just moved, and that's really brought this question much more to home for me, because I was really resisting against moving. I was really scared to move because I felt like I'd created a home and it had taken me a long time. And I've moved a lot, so you would think that since I've moved so much it wouldn't be a big deal. But I know how difficult it is. And what's interesting is I can't say that I haven't felt at home before, because I felt so at home everywhere I've lived. I grew up in Fort Collins, Colorado, a super small town in Colorado, and when I was born there, it was a small little town. They say that Main Street USA was based on Fort Collins, and I think it probably was. Main Street USA in Disneyland, or Disney World. I think it probably was based on Fort Collins because it's so Americana. And it is a great town. When I was born, it was 40,000 people, and I used to walk down to the corner store. Across the street from us was a field with deer, and there were horses, and I knew all of my neighbors. When my parents were at home, I would go to their house. We didn't have some things, so I would go to their house to use what they had if we didn't have it. And it really was a community. It was that home. And it was wonderful. What's funny though is when I grew up and when it was time for me to go to college, I had no desire at all to stay in Fort Collins. I really wanted to move out, and I did. And now when I go back to Fort Collins, luckily my parents still live in the same house that I grew up in, so it's a really strong home base for me. But it's funny because I say I'm going home, but it's not really home. Fort Collins I love, and I feel comfortable in my parents' house. I feel so comfortable, but it's not my home anymore. And when I lived in Denver, I felt so at home. I had this community and all these things that I loved, and I felt so at home. I had my routines and the things I like to do, and I felt super at home. And then I moved to Santa Cruz, and the same thing happened. I didn't know where I was for a long time, and I missed a bunch of things, and then all of a sudden I loved it, and I was super at home. And I moved to Porto Alegre, and wow, it took me a long time to feel at home, but I can tell you I did. I felt really at home. I created a community, and I never bought a house there, but we rented a lot of places, and I can say that I spent quite a few years feeling very comfortable and very much at home. Feeling like I was in my place and I'd found my place. And then that kind of changed. And we decided we needed a change, and we came here and we moved somewhere else. And I didn't want to move because I was so scared to give up that home. And I was scared that moving would take that away from me. And what I'm trying to do in this new home is really think about what it is that home means to me, and really live that wherever I am, I'm at home. Because really, home is where the heart is. And I think that for me is home. The place I choose to put my heart. And the thing is, I've got a really big heart and I love people all over the place. So for me, it's always kind of melancholy and difficult to choose a place, because I'm always far away from people I love and things I love. And so I was feeling like, how can I make a place a home when I'm so far away from all these things that I love? And we moved somewhere, and I feel like I'm making a home. I'm putting little pictures all over the wall of the people I do love, and people who don't live with me or even near me, but that I hold in my heart, and memories that are really important to me, the places I've been, the things I've been a part of, the things we've been a part of, the things that make our family warm, that make us feel good, the places that we've been, poems from our friends, things that people have made. So many things that make me feel at home are the things that people have made and that I've created or got when I was with people, and I look at them. That for me is so home. I look at things and they have a story, and I can look at that and say, oh wow, I made that there, or oh wow, my friend made me that, or my friend took that picture, or she wrote me that note, or oh, I remember when we went to that place and I bought that, or my mom gave it to me, or somebody gave me that, or my grandmother painted this picture. All of those things are now on my wall and are around my house, our house. And our house is really starting to feel like home. And I think that it's up to me and up to us, but really up to me, to make that house a home. And I think the way you do it is, there's a saying that you can run around chasing butterflies, or you can make a garden, plant it, and give it so much love and make it a beautiful place that those butterflies will want to come. And I think that that's how we create a home. It is a place we are. It is the literal structure of that home. It is the people that are around us, the people that are in our home and near us and around us. It's also all the people that are around us that are in us. And I think that is home. And if we can create a home that's with us wherever we are, then we can always be at home wherever we are. If wherever we are, we're there, we might as well be at home wherever we are. That sounds so good and so comfortable. And I think it's really possible. I feel like that's something we can intentionally create, to put our heart in what we're doing and where we live. And doing that, we can make our house and the place we live our home, because it's where we want to be with intention and with heart. I'm curious if you've moved very much, or maybe you've never moved. How was that process, and how did you become home? How did you find a home? How did you create a home? Or do you still feel like you haven't found your home? What are you looking for? What do you feel would make you feel at home? I would love to hear from you how you've created that home, or how you're searching for that home, and how you can help us create a home. I would love to hear from you, and I look forward to hearing about your home, wherever and whatever that may be. And all the little things or the people or the memories or the feelings or the plants or the colors, or I don't know. What is it that makes a home? With that, I'm going to leave you for today and say thank you so much for spending this time with me. I so appreciate it. And until next week, much light, much love. Have a wonderful day and all of the very best this universe has to offer. Ciao.